So I will start from the beginning now. Okay, this is the minerals, and we are going to study about the definition of minerals, classification, that is major and minor minerals. Then we have to read the food sources, functions, and the significances of some of the essential minerals, that is the calcium, iron, sodium, iodine, and fluorine. So first of all, we need to define. We have already defined the minerals. They are the inorganic substances. Inorganic substances means these are not made up of carbon and hydrogen. The examples are calcium, potassium. Okay, and they are found in body tissue. Okay, and it comprises of the 4 to 6% of our body weight. Okay, and they are the natural compounds which are formed through the geological processes, and they are needed in our body in very small amounts to keep our body stay strong. Okay, iron, calcium, potassium, sodium are some of the very essential minerals. They have some characteristics. They do not provide any energy. They do not provide any energy, but they are required in our diet to function our body properly and to stay strong. And they are not destroyed by the food preparation, unlike the vitamins we see in the thiamine, which were easily destroyed during the cooking. So this was the definition of the minerals. Then we have classification. Minerals is classified into two categories. One is macro, that is also known as major minerals. Another is micro, which is also known as trace minerals. These macro minerals or the major minerals are required in our body in the larger quantity, whereas the micro minerals or the trace minerals are required in our body in the lesser quantity. That is 100 mg per day below. If it's below that one, it is micro, and if it's more than that one, it's a macro. Examples of the major, that is the macronutrients, are that is the macro minerals are sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, and chloride, whereas the examples of the micro minerals are manganese, iron, cobalt, chromium, molybdenum, copper, zinc, fluoride, iodine, and selenium. So we can easily classify it into the major minerals and micro, that is the trace minerals, according to the requirement of the body. Then we see there are some of the, it's a list of some of the minerals with their food sources. Mg is an example of both, sir. Okay, I will check. Ranbir, that's not Mg. You can see this Mg is magnesium and this is manganese. Okay, so magnesium is a macro, whereas manganese is a trace mineral. So here we can see the different minerals, their food sources, and the functions. We will see that in the brief, because in our syllabus we have to study about calcium, phosphorus, potassium, iron, and fluorine. So we'll see one by one. Number one is calcium. Calcium, the main function of calcium is bones, formation of bones and formation of skeleton and the teeth. The other functions than the formation of bones and teeth is contractions of the muscles in our body. The muscles are contract, like for making of the heartbeats. Calcium is also required for the nervous activity, for the nerves, and it has a role in blood clotting. You remember yesterday class during the vitamins, I have told you that in the blood clotting, calcium combines with the vitamin to clot the blood. Yeah. Then regarding the food sources, everybody know that milk and milk products are the rich sources of calcium. Milk products like curd, paneer, cheese, yogurt, skimmed milk, condensed milk. All the milk products are high in calcium. After that, we have green leafy vegetables like spinach, okay, like kale, fenugreek, that is methi, drumstick, that is sajanfali, ragi. Ragi is extensively used in Jharkhand, okay, and it's a rich source in cereal for the calcium. And even the sesame seeds, that is till, they have the high calcium content. A small fresh and dried fish have the nice calcium content. If deficiency of calcium will be there, there will be, what will happen? The bone will weaken, okay, and there is a disease known as osteoporosis, okay. So vitamin D is having a very mutual understanding with the calcium, okay. Both are helpful in the bone formation as well as the teeth formation, okay. If excessive of calcium is taken, what will happen? Excessive intake of the calcium, symptoms or muscular pain and twitching of facial muscles. Twitching of facial muscles, what happens? Kapna, okay, farakna, okay. Sometimes our face, बोलते हैं ना कि face, चेहरा फरक रहा है, आंख फरक रहा है, that happens when we have more of the calcium in, less of the calcium, excessive of the calcium in our diet. After calcium, the next one is iron. Formation of HB. HB stands for hemoglobin. The first function is formation of the hemoglobin. If you have a nice quantity of iron in your diet, then your hemoglobin will be good. Important role in the transport of oxygen. The oxygen is transported to the different parts of the body, okay. That role is taken by due to the presence of the iron. Food sources: liver, organ meat. Organ meats, what are the organ meats? That is the abats, offals, okay. Whole wheat flour, rice flakes. Rice flakes means poha, chura. Millets like bajra, ragi, pulses, these all are the good sources of iron. Vitamin C helps in iron absorption. Means if you have, I told you that vitamin D combines with calcium. Vitamin C combines with iron. They have a greater affinity towards themselves. Meaning of RDA, okay. Arman Ahmad, RDA stands for recommended dietary allowance. Recommended dietary allowance, RDA stands for, okay. Means how much of the any nutrient should be eaten in a day, okay. Means that is recommended by the food safety, okay. That is known as RDA, recommended dietary allowance. You cannot have more of the nutrient or more of these minerals in your body. If excessive of the minerals will be there, it will harm you, it will become toxic, okay. So that's why it is, for the male it is 17 mg per day. You should not take more than that one. It does not mean that if you will eat more of the iron or more of the calcium, you will become more and more strong. It's not like that. What is the recommended? You should not go above the recommended. When there is any test, you do the blood test or hemoglobin test. So one is your active range and one is the recommended, that is good for the ideal person, okay, either man or woman. Now deficiency of iron causes iron deficiency anemia, okay. Symptoms, what happens in iron deficiency anemia? Fatigue, breathlessness, exhaustion, okay, paleness of the skin, spoon shaped nails. These are the few significances of the deficiency of iron. So we have learned about the calcium, then iron. Third one is sodium. Sodium is present in salt. Yeah, the function of sodium, it maintains the fluid balance. Fluid balance means the water balance in our body, osmotic balance between intracellular and extracellular compartments. What do you mean by intracellular and extracellular? Means inside the cell and outside the cell. Means how much of the water is needed. Sodium has all the time, it maintains the fluid balance inside the body. It keeps the cell in proper shape, inner cell and outer cell. Okay, Atesam. Maintains normal irritability of nerves and helps in normal contraction. Again, contraction means like heartbeat is a contraction. Okay, regulates cell permeability of passage of substance into and out of the cells. Regulates cell permeability. It does means that in our body, in our cell, there are very thin pores through which we sometimes when we exercise, pasina nikalta hai, sweat, we sweat. That is the passage of substances into and out of the cells through sweating, through weeping. Okay. Food sources. Fruit, milk, meat, Bengal gram, dal. Dal means dal. Beside imparting taste to the food, salt provides a necessary amount of sodium required by the body. So sodium, again, if you have a more of sodium in your diet, it will result in the stone formation. Sodium is lost in the urine and particularly in the sweat as NaCl, that is sodium chloride. Deficiency occurs in high physical. Sodium का deficiency कब होगा? जब आपका high physical activity होगा, when you run, when you play. Okay, then what will happen? From the pores, from the cells of your body, all the waters will ooze out in the form of sweating. Also in case of severe vomiting and diarrhea, if you have vomiting, okay, so all means you have vomiting means all the fluid, all the water inside your body are coming out. Okay, in that cases there is weakness, nausea and muscle cramps, pain in the muscles. Okay, excessive intake leads to hypertension. If you eat it more of the sodium, hypertension as well as the blood pressure will be also disturbed. For a healthy person, the minimum requirement is 500 mg. Maximum intake should not exceed 5 grams. Means 5 grams से ज्यादा सोडियम दिन भर में हमें नहीं खाना होता है. That is the recommended dietary allowance. Next, after sodium we have iodine. Everybody know iodine. Most of the iodine in the adult body is found in the thyroxine gland. Thyroxine gland, where is the thyroxine gland? It is the inside the neck. Okay, thyroxine gland. A major function. Yeah, somebody has asked the question. Neck, very nice, Ranjit, very good. A major function is that iodine is a constituent of thyroxine. It regulates the rate of oxidation with the cell. Food sources. Throat, very good. Food sources. Seafood contains maximum iodines. Seafood. You have already studied in food production. What is the seafood? Means the fish, the shellfish, these things, fish and shellfish has a greater iodine content. Salt is also iodized to overcome the epidemic of iodine deficiency. So even we have the iodized salt. Okay, deficiency from the school time, you know, iodine के deficiency से क्या होता है? गेगा रोग होता है. That is the goiter. In English, it's known as goiter. And what happens in the goiter? Swelling of the thyroid gland in the neck. आपका जो गर्दन होगा, जो neck होगा, वो neck. So iodine deficiency cause goiter. It's characterized by swelling of the thyroid gland in the neck. Is deficiency during fetal stage. What do you mean by fetal stage? Fetal stage means when a baby is inside the womb of a mother. Okay, that is known as fetal stage. That time, if there is a deficiency of iodine, it will lead to the mental retardation. Mental retardation मतलब कि जो दिमाग है ना उसका सही रूप में बढ़ाव नहीं होगा. That will growth in the opposite direction, and in the later life retardation of the body growth. And when this baby will come, there will be a retarded growth for the baby. This together is called IDD, that is iodine deficiency disorder. Means at the fetal stage, when the baby is inside the womb of the mother, then only if there is a deficiency of iodine, then there are two things: mental retardation and even body growth retardation, and both are commonly known as iodine deficiency disorder, that is IDD. Deficiency is seen in area where soil is deficient and iodine and water also. इसका deficiency वही मिलता है जहां के मिट्टी में आयोडीन का कमी होता है. Besides these certain compounds present in food, particularly vegetables of Brassica species. Vegetables of Brassica species, anybody know? Can anybody tell me? You have already learned about the classification of vegetables in food production. What is Brassica family? No. Brassica family is the family of the, cabbage and cauliflower. Okay. These are known as the Brassica family. The daily requirement is 100 to 150 nanogram. After that, fluorine. Fluorine is requirement for the normal bones and teeth. Food sources are again sea fish, milk, cheese, tea. Water is the main source of fluorine. In deficiency, अगर deficiency होगा fluorine का, it will result in the dental caries where drinking water contains less than 0.5 ppm of fluorine. Thus, what is ppm? Anybody can type if you know ppm. Particle per mole, parts per million. Yeah, parts per million. Okay, parts per million. So if the deficiency अगर flow तो dental आपका या आते शाम, write in the chat box. Excessive intakes of the fluorine will result in fluorosis. Fluorosis is a disease which is due to the, it's done sir parts per million. Yeah, okay. Abhishek Kumar. Okay, so as of now we have completed already vitamins and minerals. Yeah, in both the units, vitamins and minerals, both all are what all are? They are the micronutrients. What you have to study and what you have to focus on is what are the food sources. In each there are many food sources, but what you need to remember is the main food sources, that is the highest food sources, how highest nutrient content in the food sources. जैसे कि अगर if you somebody will ask you कि विटामिन सी में का सबसे अच्छा फूड सोर्स क्या है, you can unmute yourself, otherwise you can type in the chat box what is the highest good source of or best source of vitamin C. Citrus vegetables. Yeah, so ऐसा एग्जांपल आपको देना पड़ेगा. If somebody will ask you कि scurvy is caused by deficiency of which Micronutrient. Scurvy is caused by the deficiency of which micronutrient? Vitamin C. Very good. Beriberi. Beriberi is caused by the deficiency of vitamin B. कौन सा B? Vitamin B में कौन सा? Thiamine, riboflavin, niacin. Vitamin B1. Very good. There is a disease known as pellagra. Okay, it is deficiency of which vitamin? B3. Very good. Goiter. Goiter deficiency of which one? Iodine. So these type of the question will be asked. Okay, you don't need to go very much inside of that one. Okay, so now I am going to take the attendance. Okay, I am going to unmute you guys. Okay, everybody, just Abhishek Kumar.
Yes, sir.
Those whose attendance is done can leave now. Okay.